Alright, so I know that I haven't made a video on this guy for a long time. Just been busy with other stuff. Uh, Mainly the reason I haven't put videos on him is because I haven't received my motors. These are 6,000 kV motors that I put in there. One on each side, 5.5 turn. They're from hobbyparts.com. They took a long time to get here, so that's why I hadn't made a video of this guy. As you guys can see, I did replace the rods, the links for the $4 links that I told you guys to get on my previous videos. All of these links, front and back, turned out to be about $8. So since this is a budget build, I swapped my aluminum, the silver ones, for these, so that you guys can see that I'm using the cheaper ones and see that they can actually hold. This right here is just my topper that I'm working on. Took some ideas from a bunch of toppers that are out there and made my own. Figured reason I wanted to make my own is because of a lot of the ones that you are able to buy outside of from the manufacturers is they require you to have their own chassis plates as well. I wanted to go the other route. I wanted to make something that you guys could just bolt onto your Axial, since this is a budget build, so want to make it as cheap as possible, use as many parts from the Axial as possible. So this one just bolts right in. Of course, this is like a rough sketch. I'm thinking about taking a lot of the weight off the metal area off because it is aluminum. I don't have the equipment to make it out of all those fancy materials like carbon fiber and all that stuff, so I'm just gonna go with aluminum. Give you guys the ideas. If you do have where to manufacture it with the other materials, then go right ahead and do so. You can use my design or make your own. For the rods in the middle, I used the actual Axial links that came from the factory, and I just trimmed them down to size. They're about, I want to say they were 46 millimeters right now from what I ended up. Here you can see that this is the factory one that I cut down on this end. These Axial links are actually hollow all the way through, so you can thread them with 3M threads and put your bolts to them. It's pretty cool that they do that. Of course, I'm going to be covering this up here, and I'm going to be covering it here. Kind of keeping it legal for competition, but like I said, this is just a rough estimate of what I'm going to end up with. Kind of looks alright. It's kind of like a hybrid of a lot of toppers out there that I've seen for the XR10. Only difference is this I made out of 2" by 1/16 aluminum plate, which cost me $8 at Home Depot instead of paying a ridiculous amount on the manufacturer websites. So once I get this guy finished up, I'll show you guys what the end product will be, but that's where I'm at right now. I did test these 6,000 kV motors with the 2S battery. Hobby Wing does not recommend you using their 60 amp ESC with this motor combination and a 3S battery. So I will not recommend it either, because if you guys burn up your ESC, then you're gonna refer back to me and say you burned my stuff. But I have to say that I have tested them on 3S. They are ridiculous. They're super fast, and because of the gear down transmission that I'm running here, the motor doesn't get hot and the ESC doesn't get hot at all. I mean, it's like that motor is just spinning freely there. Not a whole lot of anything holding it back. This rig is really lightweight for those two motors to be in there. They really don't have to do much to get this thing flying. So do I recommend using the 3S? No. Have I done it? Has it worked? Yes, and I will post a video of that. But for now, just want to show you guys what it looked like. Oh, for the record, Jesus, gotta come back here. Yes, I ended up putting these Axial Axial excellence, because I actually found them for $15 at cpscrawlers.com. So they, I guess, are getting rid of them. So my suggestion, pick them up while you can, because if you try to get them from Axial, you're gonna be paying like $30 something for them. So get them. Also, I replaced the front ones with hot racing front ones. All of this is the aluminum hot racing parts, and I know this is a budget build, but you have to realize these are the parts that will break when you're taking jumps on your off-roader. Your Formula Off-Road. These will break if you have plastic. I can attest to that. I actually broke one, and that's why I went with this. And like I said on the beginning of these series of videos, I am trying to make this as cheap as possible, but I also want it to be functional. So I decided to go with the cheapest priced parts that can actually take the abuse. I found out that these guys can actually take the abuse. I've hit them pretty hard testing them with the 2S and the 3S, and they've handled it pretty well. Another thing, I told you guys before I was using the 280 ounce servo. Well, I went back to my MG946 and I'm running it at 8.4 volts because the other guy didn't like the 8.4 volts too much. It started jittering. So this one has plenty of torque with that amount of voltage. Anyways, it's just a quick review. Hope you guys enjoy.